Imagine you're a business analyst in a new tech company launching its first product. A product that promises to revolutionize how people live across the globe, and especially those with disabilities or in healthcare settings. Now imagine you're in the team charged with bringing this product to market, and your boss has asked you to write a report on whether the business will thrive or get crushed. How will you find this information out? Before we dive in, it's important to know that Biononics, which is featured in this and upcoming videos, is a fictional company, and the scenario created is solely to illustrate how business analysis methods can be applied in realistic business situations. If you'd like to delve deeper into the full Biononics case study, I'm currently developing the biononics.co.uk website, along with comprehensive and tiered training courses. Once launched, the courses will give members exclusive access to all supporting materials, including detailed documentation, interactive questionnaires, and applied scenarios featured in the series. Please note, however, this video will, in of itself, provide you with enough information to use and apply the techniques discussed and extract the information required. So, in this dummy scenario, Biononics is entering the tech market with a product to sell, and management needs to understand what the market landscape looks like. They have tasked the business analyst to find out. This scenario is meant to illustrate how the analyst can use the Porter's 5 Forces model to successfully answer the questions. The model is a classic tool that helps you understand the hidden dynamics shaping the industry you're in. Developed by Harvard professor Michael Porter, this framework breaks down the 5 competitive forces that determine how attractive or hostile your market really is. Here are the 5 elements of the model. 1. Competitive rivalry. How fierce is the battle for market share? 2. Threat of new entrants. Can new players jump in easily? 3. Threat of substitutes. Are there alternatives that could replace your product? 4. Bargaining power of buyers. How much power do customers have? 5. Bargaining power of suppliers. Do your vendors hold all the cards? Let's break these down one by one using the Biononics scenario as our case study. And by the end, you'll see how this simple tool can give you deep strategic insight. First up, competitive rivalry. This is the level of direct competition within your industry. Biononics operates in the neurotechnology sector, where the race to develop brain-computer interfaces is intensifying. They're up against giants like Neuralink, which focuses on invasive, high-bandwidth brain implants, and Synchron, which takes a vascular approach to neural signal capture. Then you have consumer tech players like Meta and Apple, offering EMG-based gesture control through wearables. EMG works by detecting the tiny electrical signals produced by muscle movement, which are then interpreted as input commands. These solutions are less precise, but are backed by massive brands. So, where does Biononics fit in this scenario? It differentiates itself with a minimally invasive, outpatient-friendly implant, and it doubles down on ethical design, privacy, and real-time processing at the edge. This creates a niche, but a competitive one. With the global neurotech market projected to surpass $60 billion by 2030, the rivalry is fierce. And that means Biononics must constantly innovate while reinforcing trust through clinical validation and ethical oversight. So, the takeaway? The more crowded your space, the more pressure on pricing, performance, and perception. Biononics wins by standing apart, not just by what it builds, but how it behaves and operates. Next, let's look at the threat of new entrants. How easy is it for new competitors to enter the space and take market share from you? In many industries, digital tools have lowered the barriers to entry. But in neurotechnology, the walls are still quite high. Why? Because building a brain-computer interface isn't just about code. It's about clinical validation, biocompatible materials, and medical-grade regulation. Biononics has already cleared major regulatory hurdles, including CE marking and ISO 13485 compliance, the gold standard for medical device quality. For a newcomer, the time, cost, and complexity involved in reaching that level is a major deterrent. It's not just about the tech. It's about trust, safety, and ethics. And even if a new player builds the tech, can they also build public trust? Biononics have introduced the presence of a dedicated Neuroethics Advisory Council, established to oversee ethical governance in neurotech development, and it acts as a built-in barrier that strengthens the company's moat. Bottom line: the tougher the market is to enter, the safer it is to stay. Biononics benefits from high entry barriers that keep casual competition at bay. Now let's explore the threat of substitutes. Are there alternative solutions that could deliver similar value to your customers in a different way? For Biononics, the core function of its neural interface is seamless control over digital systems. Hands-free, real-time, and intuitive. But substitutes don't have to be neural. Voice assistants like Alexa, motion-controlled wearables, and even predictive software using behavioral data all offer alternative ways to interact with technology. The key difference lies in performance and intent. Neural implants offer unmatched precision, but they come with cost, training, and surgical trade-offs. Meanwhile, substitutes may be less accurate, but are low friction and widely available. Biononics must make its case clear. When precision, privacy, and speed matter most, there's no real substitute. But when cost or convenience are priorities, users may choose simpler tools. That's the nature of substitutes. They creep in quietly and change expectations. Knowing when and why customers might switch is just as important as knowing who your direct competitors are. Now let's talk about the bargaining power of buyers. In other words, how much influence do customers have over your pricing, terms, and future direction? In consumer tech, buyers have immense power. They can switch brands in seconds, leave bad reviews, or demand faster, cheaper upgrades. But Biononics isn't just selling to consumers. It's working with hospitals, clinics, and insurers. These institutional buyers have serious leverage. They expect safety data, long-term support, regulatory compliance, and cost efficiency. And they're backed by formal procurement processes that can stall or sink sales. The good news: Biononics offers a high-spec, ethically designed product in a niche that values safety and control. But that narrows the buyer pool. The fewer the buyers, the more power they hold. To reduce buyer power, Biononics must diversify its client base, prove long-term value, and offer outcomes, not just hardware. In strategic markets, value beats volume. Finally, let's examine the bargaining power of suppliers. How much influence do your vendors and upstream partners have over your operations and costs? For a neurotech company like Biononics, the supply chain includes advanced sensors, biocompatible materials, low-power processors, and firmware developed under strict quality controls. That means fewer suppliers and more reliance on each one. If even one of those suppliers raises prices, delays shipment, or fails compliance checks, the entire product rollout can be stalled. That's high leverage. To reduce risk, companies often dual source or bring critical component development in-house. But that comes with added cost and complexity. Biononics is already investing in R&D partnerships to reduce dependency on niche suppliers. It's a long game, but it gives the company greater control over quality, timelines, and cost. So, when supplier power is high, Strategic sourcing and internal capability become survival strategies, not luxuries. The fewer the options, the more important your choices become. And there you have it. Porter's 5 forces, applied to one of the most cutting-edge industries of our time. It can be summarized as 1. Competitive rivalry. Intense with both startups and tech giants in the mix. 2. Threat of new entrants. Low, thanks to regulation and ethical oversight. 3. Threat of substitutes. Medium, as convenient alternatives loom. 4. Bargaining power of buyers. High, especially in institutional settings. 5. Bargaining power of suppliers. Also high, due to specialized components. For Biononics, the 5 forces framework doesn't just highlight risks. It also reveals opportunities for strategic focus, differentiation, trust building, and smart partnerships. That's the power of this tool. It's not just about analyzing threats. It's about seeing where to double down, when to adapt, and how to win. But be aware, the 5 forces model is a snapshot in time. Markets shift, new technologies emerge, and power dynamics evolve. It works best when regularly revisited and combined with tools that assess internal capabilities and change over time. This concludes my analysis of the Porter's 5 forces. I hope you found it useful. This also concludes my series on strategy analysis of the external environment, which can be found on the Biononics YouTube channel, and include Episode 1, the Puppet Model, and Episodes 2 and 3, Pestle Analysis. In the next set of episodes, we'll go deeper with a 5-part series on internal environment analysis, kicking off with vMost analysis, a powerful way to align vision with real-world execution. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you and goodbye.